in your corner. Thank you very much. We're trying to help get you out to work on this fine Friday morning, 6:42. At 7 o'clock, it'll be time for TK with the news, but we're counting down to the weekend here on Sunrise. Happy Friday. Get ready to hear about an exciting initiative. It's designed to empower the next generation of Jamaican men. The Life Club Mentorship Program. It focuses on building discipline and leadership through arts, athletics, and academics, particularly for inner-city boys in Jamaica. To share more about this impactful project, we're joined by gospel artist and founder of the initiative, MarQ Johnson.
Good morning.
Mark, how are you doing?
My good man. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
It's good that a man is taking on this initiative. And if one man could have taken on an initiative like this in every inner city community, we'd see a different country. Yeah. What ignited in you to create and to conceptualize this?
So, I mean, growing up, I struggled with a lot of things. Yeah, low self-esteem was one of the main things. I'm 45 now, and it was when I was 38 I overcame low self-esteem. You know, throughout my years, though, at different points, I had mentors, you know, formal, informal, official, unofficial.
Yes.
And as the decades rolled on, I realized the value of mentoring. I realized how important it is for a man who is further ahead on the journey to help other young men to have a different perspective of self, of life, purpose, and so on. And so I carry a sense of personal responsibility, particularly for the next generation. And so, I mean, we have always wanted to do this. In fact, my wife and I started this back in many years ago. She mentored girls, I mentored the boys, but it wasn't sustainable because of a myriad of things. But last year we decided, you know, we felt a burning and a yearning that we couldn't shake. And we decided to launch this mentoring program in October.
You know, you mentioned just now, if you could, you'd probably reach out to all of the children, right? Because there's this burning to just help and make a difference. But this type of initiative typically needs zeroing in and really targeting a specific group. And you guys have targeted the grades 4 to 6 group specifically. Tell us why.
Because we have fun. So as a recording artist, I've been on many school tours, interacted with tens of thousands of teenagers in high school. And I've realized from my own experience personally and just interacting with young people, I realized if you don't start that impact and that influence in the more formative years, by the time adolescents kick in, it's much harder. Not impossible, you know, but it's easier to point in a particular direction. The younger you start, the better. It's like, I mean, if you have a little twig growing in the garden, you just use 2 fingers and pluck it out. When it becomes a tree, a 40-foot tree, it's a different ball game.
I mean, mentorship takes different forms, you know, because sometimes, you mentioned the sustainability, sometimes the resource is just not there to do things the way you want to do it. What form does the mentorship take? So
we meet with them every Friday for 1 hour, and typically our meetings include icebreakers, fun, presentation on, you know, different topics and competition. So ideally, I mean, we did a pilot project last academic year, and we thought that 1 year would have been enough for a pilot. But we realize now that we really have to do 3 years of a pilot because we're going through the learning curves. You know, when you stand at the start line of a race and you look to the finish line, it looks different from when you stand at the finish line and look back. So in hindsight, we have decided to extend the pilot so that we can process it some more. So ideally, this is what we want it to look like. We want to engage them in arts because there are some of us men who are artistic, but we're not academic. I would have 2 left foot. We can't kick a ball straight. I have some men who are very athletic, can't add 1 + 1 and then can't sing for save them life. I have some men who are so brilliant, but you know what I mean? So what we want to do is take what we consider the 3 general extremes so that we cover everybody, because everybody learns different, and so on, and we engage them.
And you know why it's important? Because so many mentorship programs decide we're going to mentor through the arts. And so already, and I might think that's our come. You know, or we're going to do football mentorship. So our next youth said, man, I might think that's come. But you're able to bring in more people into it. As a gospel artist, is there thread of spirituality that connects to all of the different things, or you're leaving that?
No, certainly, because it is who I am. It's part of who I am. And so what we do, we don't preach to people. We live kingdom. We live the principles, because the principles of Scripture are, we consider them to be wholesome, and they offer very good solutions to life generally.
Right.
And so we are careful how we interweave that throughout our program, because how we position our program, it's not a Christian program, it's not a religious program, it's a mentoring program that we are trying to use to fix some of the ills of society. If we're able to take young boys and help them to become strong, solid men, we will have a better society. Our prisons will eventually be empty in a perfect world if you continue this and everybody comes on board. Prisons will eventually be empty. The graveyard will not be filling up so fast. And you know, I mean, we can go on and on about what benefits could be.
But let me ask you, because you sit with them on a Friday, you spend an hour with them, and that is fantastic, because the consistency will have impact, but they spend so much more waking hours with their parents and their teachers. Are they also involved in the program?
Yes, they are. Not to the extent that we want yet because of resources. So one of the things, I mean, my dream, so let me tell you, my dream, let me just dream for 30 seconds. My dream is to engage, if we are able to take them on either on a more frequent basis or to take them away from the community for a sustained basis. Like say 3 months, 6 months, a year. I mean, I can't think of parents saying, yeah man, take my picnic and go on for a year. I can't imagine it. But if we can probably have a series of weekend camps or even a 1 month program or something like that. I mean, just imagine if you can take a little boy, age 9 to 12, for 6 months, where you bus them to school, and take them to a facility where they are in a safe space. We reinforce the principles.
Able to recalibrate.
Look here, after 6 months, you don't have the same boy. You know? That's a different human being.
For sure.
So, I mean, that's the ideal, but in the meantime, we work as resources become available, as more persons come on board, and we can increase the frequency and the contact time. Because the pilot that we did last year taught us a lot. A whole lot.
That's the purpose of a pilot. Yeah,
exactly. And
you know what I mean? Important.
And that reality, the 1 hour we realized was far less than we thought it would have been. Far less.
Definitely. So great talking to you. I'm going to encourage you, document what you do, do what you document, and I hope that you get some good funding from the people who like to fund these things. There's also the Jamaica, what do you call it? It's a philanthropic thing. Geez, it just slipped out of my head. The social stock exchange, because that funds these types of initiatives. You know, there's so much good in this. You deserve some funding.
Thank you so much, man.
All right?
Brilliant stuff.
Thank you very much.
Excellent stuff. Our guest has been MarQ Johnson, gospel artist and founder of Life Club Mentorship Program. Speaking of mentorship and guidance, you have dilemmas. And I know a duo that could probably help you with that. Yeah. Ask Ellis. He's up after the break.
All right.